Right. Well, I am here at the amazing Bluebell Cottage Garden Nurseries near Warrington in Cheshire. And I am here not only because I'm very impressed with the nursery, and I've been following Sue Beasley, who runs it, on social media for years, partly because I love her plants, partly because I like her garden, but partly because her business ethos is so good. Anyway, I'm not here to talk to her today, although I may later. I'm really here to talk to Benjamin Ranyard, who is the founder and maintainer, sustainer of Higgledy Garden Seeds. He and I have been working together ever since I started my business 12 years ago, I should think. We met each other on Twitter years and years ago, and he sells the best seeds for cut flowers that you can get. Anyway, I'm here to talk to him about his business ethos, and how he does everything. So, welcome. Do subscribe to the channel. Press the bell icon if you would like to be told when we've got more clips coming out. And if any of the tips and tricks we give you along the way are useful, you can always buy me a coffee. The coffee link is in the blurb to all my clips. Right, let's go meet Ben. Look! It's Ben Ranyard. Woo! Now, Ben and I have been colleagues since we met on Twitter, I think 12 years ago.
2010?
2010?
Yeah, I think so.
And you, at the time, were living in Cambridge.
That's right.
Working somebody's allotment? What was happening then?
I had my own jobbing gardening business at that time, and I was doing some landscaping, paving.
Were you?
Oh, I was king of paving. Yeah, I was fantastic. No, I was just working as a labourer for a landscaping company.
And then, so what happened? One day you thought, I know, I'm going to grow some flowers.
I grew some flowers. I grew some sunflowers for a friend's wedding. I was skint and I couldn't afford to buy them a present, so I thought I'd grow them some sunflowers, and I'd bring these sunflowers in pots to this fete-style wedding.
Yeah.
And I did that, and everyone loved them, and I loved the process of growing them. I just got into the whole just sunflowers, and I just loved it. I really enjoyed it.
And so then you thought, I know, I'm going to grow more flowers.
I had started to look at Sarah Raven's site about growing flowers, and I used to write a lot, and I produced a blog about how to grow flowers. And on that blog, I would also give people an option to buy some flowers from me, which was a complete disaster. And I couldn't work out how to send them, couldn't do that. But I became what's called an affiliate agent for Sarah Raven. So I would send people to Sarah Raven's site, and I would get 10% of whatever was spent at Sarah Raven's. And I wasn't making very much, but 1 month I got a check for something like 75 quid, which has obviously meant that 750 had been spent there. And I thought, well, I can do this. So I had a go at doing that.
And then, so Higgledy Garden was born.
Yeah, in 2012, I think.
Yeah. And why did you think, you've always specialised in cut flowers, mostly annuals.
Yeah.
And so what is it about cut flowers and annuals that's really tickled your fancy?
Well, I really liked productive growing. I'd grown some veg before. I used to, at the time, I used to really like growing things in straight lines, and I liked the simplicity of the idea of a very simple, stripped down cut flower patch from seed. Also, I think just starting a business, I mean, I could have expanded to veg seeds, I could have done all sorts of things, but it was just too big and I didn't have the space, and I was operating at the time from a caravan, so it made sense just to, and I still keep it small. I think we've got 80 varieties in there. I mean, it's tiny, absolutely, compared to Sutton Seeds or someone like that who's probably got 5,000 or something.
But I love that. I love the tininess of it. And I've always been impressed with the way that we've talked to each other for years. Every now and again we have kind of ring each other up and have like networking type chats. We boost each other along and give each other good ideas and slightly compete a little bit. Because I'd say we both have micro businesses. Compared to
Well, they are micro businesses.
But technically micro businesses.
They're smaller than small businesses.
Yeah, but they are businesses which support us. Neither of us are starving.
No.
And if actually, I'd say that both of us are relatively comfortable.
Yeah, fine. I'm really happy with what I'm earning, how it's going.
But what you do, and what has always really inspired me, has been your concept of enough. That you'd say, look, I buy enough seed, I know how much I need to live on, so therefore I know how much seed I need to sell, and I know what my margins are, so I'll buy enough seed to sell it, and once it's sold, I can go for a walk.
Yeah, well, it's not far off that. It's not quite as simple as that, but effectively I worked out how much money I need to get my financial goals up to when I retire and I'm older. I'm not into big shiny things. I just need a modest pension and I need somewhere to live, and hopefully with a bit of land. And I've costed all that out. I know what I need, and at the moment I'd rather have time rather than money.
Yeah.
So yeah, it all works out. I mean, I'm very lucky that the business has got critical mass, that I have a choice. I don't have to fight for every penny.
Well, except, I mean, I'd say, people always talk about them being lucky, and while of course you're lucky in that you have your health and all of that stuff, actually you've worked your socks off, but in an incredibly strategic way, in that you have not just assessed your objectives, you reassessed your objectives regularly.
Yeah.
And
well,
made
I
sure
think
you've achieved them.
I think if you do that, and if you work out, I mean, there's two ways of effectively when it comes to making money, you want to be saving money. That's really sort of the point of it, or investing in it. Well, you can do that two ways. You can earn more and you can spend less as well. And what I learned with Higgledy is that if you keep everything really, really lean, so we don't have premises, for instance, and that was always going to be. When we started off, it was questionable, and a few years ago I was very tempted to start renting. I'd probably be renting somewhere in the northwest up here near Warrington, and thank God I didn't. At the moment we'd be having huge energy bills, we'd have rental on premises, we'd have business rates, we'd have all of these issues coming on us. Whereas at the moment sales are going to go up and down. It's very volatile. We've had COVID, which has put sales up. We're having cost of living, which is bringing sales down. But the way we work means that all the staff work from home. We got, it's about 40 hours a week that I put out to a few part-timers. They work from home, so we can just move the hours up and down depending on how many orders come in. So that just keeps everything super lean and super fine. So it means that we can, whatever happens, we can see this through.
But I remember you don't know, and I kind of go, oh, clever. I do. There are various businesses I follow, and I kind of go, oh, clever. Oh, that's clever.
Oh,
that's
good to
clever.
know.
And actually here, Bluebell Cottage is one of the ones where I go, oh, clever. And Higgledy is another, oh, clever. And what I remember you years ago, you said there was some shortage of something. And you went, yeah, but the thing is, Higgledy's always been a paper-free business. And you weren't a paper-free business because you were trying to be eco. You were a paper-free business because you didn't have a printer, because you didn't need a printer.
Yeah.
Because who needs a printer if you've got an organised website? And if the website works and it's got all the information on it, and that was a huge light bulb moment to me. And I went, well, have I got a printer then? If Ben doesn't need a printer, why do I need a printer?
Well, printers funny things, actually. I mean, I couldn't afford a printer, even the 70 quid when we started. But I mean, it's like in the 90s, everybody had a printer, and now nobody's got a printer. I mean, it's what we use. I don't know what we
still have a printer. I have a printer, and it does cost me money. And I kind of sit there, and Fabrizio and I go, we got this printer, let's get rid of the printer. And he goes, no, we need a printer. And, we don't really need a printer.
Yeah.
We could live without the printer, but,
Well, we definitely don't need one. So we've managed that one. And we don't send, I mean, it's a lot of things with a small business is turning negatives into positives.
Yeah.
So, for instance, we don't send out any catalogues.
Right.
Now, the reason I say I don't send out any catalogues is because we're paper-free and we're eco and we're eco-chic. The truth is, it's far too organised. I can't get around to it, and it would cost a fortune to send them out.
But also, you don't need it. You've proved. I've never sent a paper catalogue out. Inspired by Ben, I have no marketing paper.
Yeah.
And it's totally inspired by Higgledy.
Come on,
Garden.
Higgledy.
Because you're like, I don't need the paper. What are you going to do with the paper? And it's true, when I get sent catalogues through the post, with respect to all of the catalogue senders, I tend to put them, they come off the floor from the front door into the recycling.
Yeah.
And even if they're businesses I really like the product, the chances are I'm going to go online and look at it there. So you've given me permission to keep my costs, it's on the one hand you're massively keeping your costs down.
Saving a lot of time, you're keeping costs, and
But
you're
you are
helping
saving
solve the
the
planet. You are. And the beauty is, as soon as you put onto Twitter to your wonderful people, well, the reason we're not, this puts us at a disadvantage because, you know, you get the violins out, but we're not going to send out these catalogues because it's the most retweeted tweet you can put out there, and then your wonderful customers do your marketing for you. And in fact, this catalogue, which is a digital catalogue, might go to 40,000 people digitally, which is something I'd never be able to send, you know, even at £1 a shop.
No,
at a mailing
you're not
list,
going to spend that
40,000.
money.
I'm not. I haven't got it.
No,
So-
there's no way, is there?
No.
Whereas, and that's the other thing is, because we met on Twitter 12 years ago, whatever it was.
We were young pups.
We were young pups. We really was. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, I'll order some seeds from this chap because I like the look of what he's doing. And we ended up talking to each other, and ever since you have maintained, and we've seen more business. You and I, we watch the other micro businesses that launch with some fanfare or excitement or whatever, and we're both good at looking at what other people are doing and going, this is a really good idea. This is sustainable. Oh, look. And you really inspired me to carry on with my social media. I remember so I was on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, you hated taking photos, didn't you? So I'm not doing that Instagram thing, you said. I'm not wasting my time. She said, I'm not very good at it. I was thinking, this is why she's missing a trick there. And then suddenly, you've completely overtaken anything I've done. And I love photography.
You're the great photographer. I know, you were the one who said, because Twitter, when we started, you could just say things. And you didn't have to put pictures.
You still can just say things.
And I'm quite good at saying things. I'm better with words than that's where my comfort zone is, so I can talk. And you said, no, you've really got to do Instagram. Actually, you were not the only one who was saying you've got to do Instagram. Yeah. And at the time, we had such bad Wi-Fi. We had really, really bad reception for phones. You had to do it all on your phone. It felt fiddly to me. Anyway, I did it eventually, and thank you very much.
That's a pleasure.
So
but
now
all these
I'm
things
thinking
change.
you've got to make films because you should be on YouTube.
Yeah, and I haven't been doing the film. I've got all the kit. All the kit. No idea.
I don't have any of the kit.
Yeah, just don't start, and that's been sitting, on my boat, staring at me, sort of glowing, saying I was really expensive. You're losing money on me. So. I've always sort of planned at the beginning of the next season. Yeah. But I mean, writing was my thing. That's the thing I really love doing. I love just big bits of text. It's much harder now to get that to work for you with Google ranking, but it's still possible. Yeah. So I'm going to be starting to do a lot more of that, and I will start to do some videos. But I just don't think at the moment, I don't think it's my strength. But I totally realise that's the way that, there's a big shift.
Yeah, but I think you and I both love the words, and we would both happily sit and write. I would sit and write all day if I could. But the challenge is to make enough of a living at it, and I've never been able to make enough money writing. Yeah. So I write because it's fun, but not because I can't write first. I have to write last after I've paid all the bills.
Right. Okay.
And so it's always last on the list for me, which is no fun.
Yeah. Well, when I started Higgledy, I was just writing mad. So I would write first thing in the morning, and I would do at least 500 or 1,000 words in a blog post and get that sent out. I mean, I was so into my analytics. I was measuring how well one thing had done, and it was like, okay, if I carry on doing this for 18 months, it will mean this amount, and it was right.
And it worked.
Because you're so on it. If you just it's like you have to become obsessed in the first few years. Yeah. If you're not obsessed, it's not going to happen, and then you can kick back a little bit later on.
Yeah, but you did because you would ring me up and go, "Are you looking at your analytics?" And I'm going, "No, I'm not looking at my analytics." Yeah. Well, you should be doing this.
Well, I mean, I haven't even got them anymore. The analytics, they disappeared. I need to put them back on. But they are definitely, or were definitely useful. Yeah, everything's changed in 10 years, and other things, easier sites like Squarespace are available now that are working for some people, or don't even have a website now because things like Etsy are there for a lot of people that have.
It makes such a lot of sense for people. If you don't want to run your own website, you don't want to spend all that time maintaining it and keeping the words fresh and keeping the photographs fresh and all that stuff.
You don't need to worry about that. So just spend a bit of cash and
So back to the cut flowers then, Ben.
Okay. Yeah.
If you in your dream fantasy land end up with your lovely bit of land, of all the cut flowers in the world, which 5? I'm not going to make you choose one. Which 5 would you grow?
I would grow, well, I'm a great fan of simplicity, so they would probably be hardy annuals. I would grow cornflowers and get quite a few things in cornflowers. There's a big range of cornflowers I grow, but I'm going to put cornflowers in one bracket. I think there's a chrysanthemum rainbow hippie love child that I really love.
You've got to have a rainbow hippie love child.
You've got to have a rainbow hippie love child. There would something around the Ami Magus.
Yeah.
No, actually, let's put Dorcas in there, right? Because it's a bit easier, it's a bit more solid. I would have. Where are we now? 3.
Got 2 more.
I'm going to have borage just because it's a wonderful thug and I like it, and the bees
love it.
Love it, and it's great. And I think we should have something tall. Can we have a larkspur?
We could definitely have a larkspur.
I'd have larkspur imperials, I think.
Yeah, it's a lovely mix, isn't it?
I think that's nice and that's simple and easy, and and you get that would be.
And when you
great.
grow a cut flower patch, you're a great one. I mean, I have to say, I over fiddle. I sow the seed and I prick it out and I pot it on and I plant it out, and it takes weeks and weeks and weeks, and then eventually I might have a cut flower patch. You're a great one. You take a square patch of ground, rake it over, chuck in some seed, give it a water, and then see it in 3 months.
Well, that's one of the methods I did. I mean, I tried a no dig patch this year, and I just put about 4 inches, and the ground was terrible. It was just dried clay. It was just, I couldn't even get a pickaxe into it, and I just covered that with a layer of very well rotted manure that I got locally in Cornwall, and sowed into that, and just left that. And in fact, I left that through the drought, and it came good in the end.
That's amazing.
But a normal technique for me would be I would sow direct in drills about a foot apart, and then I'd also grow stuff in pots.
Yeah.
And then where there are gaps, I'd just be filling them out.
You fill in the gaps.
But my labelling's usually rubbish, so anything goes in anywhere. So it comes out, it just ends up looking. I mean, for me, I don't need a particularly productive garden for cut flowers, unlike yourself. So mine can be, I can have a few cornflowers here, and the rest could be over there. I don't need to worry about.
But also,
being
it looks
efficient.
lovely. I mean, what you make, whenever you make a cut flower patch.
Yeah.
And I love what Ben does. Is, he proves his seed works by having, he might sow a few seeds up here in Cheshire, and then you might have a cut flower patch in Cornwall, and then you might have another patch in Suffolk. Just to, let's play the game and see how things grow in different areas. I think it's enormously helpful.
In the interest of transparency,
customers.
the Suffolk one was a total disaster.
This year?
This year, it was just turned to sand out there.
Yeah.
Poor old people who were growing anything in Suffolk we
went there on holiday, and it was like Armageddon.
Yeah, they had a tough time out there.
Yeah, it was really tough, hot. So I'm not.
But generally our seeds, and we've got there's a digital friend of mine who grows out in Orkney, and she just about gets it. Can get some flowers out in Orkney. So I think if we can get it up there, then all
Well, in Orkney, it's not really the cold; it's the wind, isn't it? It's like
they have to be very sheltered.
Yeah.
But they generally. I mean, that's the other beauty about having a very small menu, if you like, portfolio of flower seeds, is that they're all tried and tested, and they're all pretty straightforward. There's no Himalayan blue poppies or anything like that in there.
Yeah.
It's all stuff that, because people have got busy lives, they just want to sow stuff, they want it to grow, they want it to be beautiful, they want the neighbours to be really jealous.
I think that's fantastic.
And then bingo, keep it all nice and
It
simple.
is. I mean, you do. It's talk about for not a great capital outlay, you can have. It's a relatively instant wow factor with a cut flower patch sown from seed for flowering that summer.
And it can be different every year. I mean, the seeds are actually cheaper than most people would spend on compost and things like that. So the seeds isn't the.
That's what I'm always saying to people: have fresh seed, get it from Ben because he gets it fresh every year, and when he sold it all, he goes for a walk.
Easy peasy.
So, are we allowed to ask about the future of Higgledy? Where's Higgledy going?
Yes, you can. You can ask. Higgledy is looking to get a proper Higgledy garden now. We've been travelling. We've been nomadic for pretty much 10 years on the boat and in the van and in the caravan, and we're looking at the moment we're looking to lease some land down in Cornwall on a 150-year lease, which will be our forever home, and so we can start producing a lot more of our own seeds. We'll be aiming for 100%.
That's fantastic. So you're going to grow your seed, all of it.
We're going to aim to grow all of it. There's always going to be some shortfalling. There'll always be something that's failed. So we'll be buying some stuff in, but then we can do the whole. I mean, a lot of my seeds at the moment might come from Central Europe because they have the more solid summers. Our summers seem to be hotter at the moment, so that's a good thing. We can ripen seeds here. But of course, you've got supply chain issues now with Brexit and the rest of it. So I mean, as a security position for Higgledy to be in, we want to be able to do that. But then the bit of land we've got our eye on, we can use it as an exemplary template of exactly how to go about from scratch, how to set up the perfect eco business, which would include having coppice woodland that we'd be able to get leaf mulch from and firewood from, and so to do it everything bang on.
Yeah, here comes the Higgledy Garden YouTube channel.
Well, you're exactly right, actually. It's exactly what I was thinking. Because if that opportunity did happen, then it would have to start from... I wouldn't want to be starting videos halfway through that.
No,
I think
you've got to
people
start
would
at the
be
beginning of the
interested.
story.
Yeah, so we would do that. So that might happen in the spring. It might take another year, or it might not happen at all.
Well,
We'll see.
good luck.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for your inspiration and for ringing me up over the years and going, you need to do this, you're not thinking straight.
Well, and vice versa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Higgledy.
Dib.
Do follow the channel, and I'll let you know when the Higgledy Garden channel goes live. I'm sure it's going to be soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Bye all.
So thank you very much for coming along on that exciting journey with Higgledy Garden. He and I are good colleagues, and I have to say, if you're running a small business, if you can find somebody who you can use as a bouncing board for ideas, for inspiration, and also you can trust to ring you up and tell you when you need to pull your finger out, then I recommend somebody like Higgledy. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.